So, as a spiritual healer, how do you make your readings and your energy work go from, okay, that sounds nice, to, wow, I really have to work with you? So, I work with visionaries like you, and you know that you are here to serve, to lead people into a new way of being or doing or even leading. And you're here to help people to reach their highest timeline. But I'm guessing that you struggle to explain what you do because the output isn't tangible. Your solar line clients are a bit wary, maybe, about spending money on something they can't see. Either that, or they're actually scared of the possibilities if they changed. So I actually found the human design system. And as a reader of human design, I found that a reading was a nice to have, but not a necessity. And I actually found a way to take that nice to have feeling into a wow, I really need to experience this because I know that it's going to transform me. So in this video, I'm going to show you how I changed that in my business, how I did my market research so that I could understand my audience better, and also how I use that market research to rewrite my messaging. And I'm going to show you what finally happened when I started speaking their language. Let's get started. So, what wasn't working for me in my business before I actually went and did this process? So, I used to talk about human design as if everybody already knew what all the things meant. And if you know anything about the human design system, you'll know it's a completely different language. Just like, I guess, like astrology is a completely different language if you don't know it, Akashic records, even energy healing, right? Different language. So I was actually teaching people things like, this is what happens with your open centers, or this is what your authority is. And I was speaking from my expertise, but I wasn't speaking to their experience. So when I post something, it would just, fall on deaf ears. I would hear crickets. And I would get these blank stares from people if I told them what I did in a networking event. So sometimes I would actually, get people saying, oh, wow, that does really sound amazing. But I'd also get the comments of, well, I don't know how that helps me. Right. And that was actually, the key issue for me. So what I actually did within the first 18 months of my business was I actually very informally gathered market research. So I started listening deeply during readings at what exact words my clients were using. I was asking questions like, well, what made you book with me? What were you struggling before you came and had a human design reading? How do you feel now? Like, what has this enabled you to do? And essentially, I was just collecting phrases from testimonials, from my readings, from DMs, voice notes, like transcribing voice notes, etc. And these are not particularly polished marketing phrases. They're just real, raw, honest expressions. And actually, they held the key, right? But I needed to, make the key turn in the lock to make real strides in my business. So about 18 months in, I invested in market research. I actually had a business growth strategist who not only conducted that market research for me, but she also held a focus group, which was, can I say, like absolutely incredible. And that focus group was with my solar line clients. It was with people who, I would really love to work with. And she held this focus group without me in the room. And it meant that they could really get to the crux of why they figured that human design was just, a nice to have. And it really helped me to understand how to bridge that gap in between, okay, that's really nice to have, to, wow, yeah, I really want to jump in and work with you, Charlie. So after I'd got all of that data and information, I actually used that data to rework my messaging and also kind of rework some of my offers as well, just in the way that they were structured. And instead of saying things like, this is how you can use your strategy or authority to align to your energy, So I changed it to stop second guessing yourself and finally trust your inner knowing. Sometimes I would say things like discover the wisdom of your undefined centers. And instead, I would start saying things like let go of who the world told you to be and just start being yourself. And you know what? People suddenly started getting it. More importantly, they started feeling it, like actually understanding it a little bit more. And they started engaging. And and this was not really because I changed what I do, but it was because I changed how I talked about it. Okay, quick side note here. When you have all this data, when you have all of the testimonials, the DMs, the conversations you've had with clients, and also all of your market research, the best thing that you can do so that instead of going through it bit by bit and like highlighting things and bringing them out and like putting them into your copy, the best thing you can do is actually to feed it into ChatGPT, because then ChatGPT will kind of start to understand who you are, and you can ask it questions around, like, what should I do with my copywriting here, like where can I put this wording in. And actually, this really does form the basis of your marketing and your message, because it just saves you a lot of time than going through it all by yourself. So do you want to see the results that I got? So sometimes the results are just, really, really small things like comments like, oh my God, this is exactly how I feel. People asking for more info, people wanting to meet with me. And, the small things actually then ended up turning into like the bigger things. So people started booking with me. I had more clients on a regular basis. And sometimes those human design reading clients would then turn into longer term clients as well, because they started to understand how aligning to their human design, aligning to their unique, like sort of blueprint and unique energy could really, take them to the next level, essentially. And one of the best things that's actually happened as well is that people are really wanting to share more video testimonials with me as well. And I can't tell you how amazing that feels, because I now don't have to really, shout about what I do, because I actually have my clients do that for me. And those video testimonials are just absolutely perfect for my perfect soul aligned clients as well. And that means that my potential clients see themselves within that testimonial. And you know what? One of the best parts to this whole process that I have gone through is that I actually still don't post much on social media, because I don't want to be a slave to Facebook. But when I do post, I get bookings from it, I get invitations from it, and that's all I can ask for, right? So now that you know how I use market research to shift my messaging and create better content and offers that actually start speaking to my soul aligned clients, I want to take you a little bit deeper. In the next video, I'm going to show you how I use my human design strategy for 30 days straight to attract aligned opportunities and clients into my business, and how this skyrocketed my visibility. So click up here to watch that next.